Hey, there's a ship going by. See ya. Could you imagine if stuff like No Man's Sky even looked vaguely like this? It doesn't, it won't, but you know. God, that's beautiful. That's the testament of a manually crafted environment like this game or Outer Wilds. God, oh, I've got to clutch every single time where I've got to double check my brain between Outer Wilds and Outer Worlds. One of the things I'm digging so far is that this game has a comedic bent to it. We just played Pillars of Eternity a few months ago, and same developers and so on, not necessarily the same writers still. But they've always done a decent job with the comedy. It's just that the game was so self-serious that the comedy was more spaced out. There was like Haravius and Eder and a couple other characters, but aside from that, those specific character contexts, not a ton of comedy. Here we go. This whole like space bandit genre, sci-fi retro futurist shooty boy space bandit genre thing. That's of course taking after New Vegas to some extent. Lets them a little focus on that a little more. That's welcome. This thing's got zoom for a while. We'll see how that pans out for me. I saw these ramps going out here, so I saw the... I figured I'd want to take a little look, see if they hid something up there, but it's just where somebody on lookout was just eating their food. Not a very good lookout. He didn't spot me, and I even killed somebody just outside of their camp before I came in, so like there was chances. They just didn't try that hard. Oh! Primal Behemoth. Oh, they're sleeping at least. Two of them are. Hello, Deathclaw. Those things seem like a problem. I would like to not enter their radius. Oop. I was entering their radius. I don't have my laser, so let's not go Congo right now. Hello. Hi. Oh. Yeah, so they're like rock-covered gorillas. Are they spawning as I enter a certain radius, and that's causing them to all do their like go to sleep for the day animation? It's kind of funny. This is beautiful. Oh, I see what they went for here. They took the basalt columns and they rearranged them in these twisting, tilted patterns so that they give the impression of like a field of grass or bushes or whatever. And then they cover it in green with the moss. So you look at a landscape like this and at first it looks like it's all covered in plant. Like that looks like a forest from here. But it's not, because it's this. That's actually pretty breathtaking. You got the like aurora rainbow thing. Well, there's the aurora and there's the rainbow. All over like ruins. Good color contrasts. Art directions, ladies and gentlemen. This is a high traffic area apparently. I see ships constantly. Volcanic summit discovered. I take it this is like a thermal not detonator, generator? Yeah, that's just open lava. You actually don't want to be here. All that shit you see in the air, that's, you're breathing that in. Oh, hello. I think that guy might have breathed it in. Might be why he's dead up here. He's wearing a mask, I guess. I guess I'm wearing a hood too. Or, yeah, one of their masks. Although maybe I shouldn't depend on them if that's how it worked out for him. These guys are everywhere. I'd rather not gain their attention right now. They seem dangerous. Hello. Oh god. Well, that's unfortunate. Pro tip for everybody at home. Don't climb on the basalt columns. you'll die. Also, quick save often. Thankfully, nothing really happened. I just picked this item up and discovered that one summit. And that's it. Alright, so it's one of those games. It's one of those games where if you start sliding for any reason, it starts calculating your fall damage for the entire slide until you hit the solid ground. Then it counts as if you basically fell that distance, which is kind of iffy. I don't really like it when a game does it that way. Mainly because in reality, like if you slide down a slope, you don't really take that much damage. The whole point is you're not really building up any speed. You're not actually falling. You're sliding down a slope. I've slid down hills before. It's a useful tactic when you're doing like shitty climbing and you're up in a bad spot. Like you can just sit down on your butt and you can slide down that kind of slope, and even if you build up a little speed, it's very unlikely that anything vaguely dangerous is going to happen. But video game characters, they just explode somehow and no one's really sure how it happened. It's very tragic. There's the Dr. Seuss plants again. Horton hears a who or whatever. If the entire area is surrounded with these, does that make this a Hooverville? Edgewater. Goodbye. They keep scattering as I approach, but I can't see them until they already move. All right. I would like to meet your first environment, please. Your colorful cast of characters that I can help or betray, or steal from, or shoot. Or help, I guess. But maybe shoot. Defeat our foes. Help the chairman and Minister Clark. Chairman Rockwell and Minister Clark, the team to lead Halcyon to an even better tomorrow. Dissenters in our midst. They want to destroy our way of life. There's always the go-to. What's that? You want to gain political clout? You better otherize something and make people fear it. And then, once you've invented a problem, tell everyone that you're the only solution for the problem that you invented. And then they'll elect you out of fear. In this case, it looks like they're... like, I don't think that they mean literally those guerrilla things from outside or the dissenters in our midst. So instead, they're taking some particular faction or class or race or whatever from in this group, and they're implying that they're just as beastly as that. Because that's what we do is you... oopsie. Sorry. Yep. The enemy seeks to destroy our way of life. They are infiltrated. Oh, the vapors! That's always the go-to. You always gotta take a subsection of your own group and you have to spell them out as being inhuman, which is definitely what's happening here. Oh, it's a philosophist. We do have a faction. And if you can convince people that particular faction is inhuman and dangerous, but also lesser at the same time, they have to be simultaneously all-powerful, but also inferior, because which makes them deserving of being defeated, despite the fact that they're also so dangerous that they can't be all-powerful and lesser at the same time, and yet that's always the rhetoric. Defeat our foes. I'm sure that'll go over well. Emerald Vale of Terra 2. Are we on Earth 2? Is that where we are? Well, now I want to find the Philosophists and to see what their deal is. These guys don't like him. Corporate Trooper. Cannery Worker. Wow. It's like I never stopped playing Disco Elysium. Except for all the shooting I've done. Facer's Choice. Hello? Dehydrated water tablets. What the fuck does that mean? Can anyone see me right now? There's no one. Huh? Let's learn something. Are these labeled as stolen? What's this, by the way? Oh, that's how you compare? Okay. Yeah, so this is weaker. Fast ration pill? I'd almost take it to be like, oh, are the ration pills for fasting? Since we have dehydrated water. Nicopad. Nicotine high. Ranged weapon spread minus 50%. Ranged weapon spray minus 50%. Nicotine low. Ranged weapon... Ah. Okay. Your nicotine status changes how good your attacks go. Mock apple juice? A bottle of gently squeezed mock apples. What is a mock? That's pretend apples and they made juice out of it? What is this, fucking plastic? Spacer's Chaw. Algae lager. The lichen lager. Personality attributes +1. Dexterity, perception, charm -1. Mushroom and algae come together in the best cold brewed beer you've ever tasted. Taste the flavor of the Rocky Mountain. But where's the dehydrated water? Water without the hydrogen or oxygen. What? It's a sugary drink? Just add air. Now available and carbonated. What? It's a sugary drink that increases your body attributes, so it's like soda, except it's dehydrated water. It's really hard to interpret what the fuck's happening there. But go for it, I guess. Oop. Bit cartridge. Oh, that's for an amount of bits. Alright. Right, I wanted to check. I don't see any label saying it's stolen. I don't know if they can tell or not. Spacer's Choice. When life gives you lemons, consider it a free trial from your friends at Spacer's Choice. Wow. You guys have terrible slogans. These are terrible slogans. Stop it. Edgewater Saltuna Cannery. Spacer's Choice property. Notice, the Edgewater Saltuna canning facility strictly adheres to Spacer's Choice standards of health and safety. Schedule your sick leave with your Spacer's Choice foreman and/or supervisor. Be considerate towards other members of your Spacer's Choice family. Allow 2 to 4 weeks to process and approve your scheduled sick leave. Your scheduled sick leave? You have to schedule your sick leave 2 to 4 weeks in advance. We're just going to pretend that's how sick leave works, right? That's how being sick works. You know it's going to happen a month in advance. Lost hours must be compensated to the company. See your read if you're having trouble paying for your sick leave. Motherfucker. We'll try to arrange wage deductions instead. Remember, work invigorates the spirit. Sickness in the body reflects sickness in the mind and sickness in the character. If you find yourself falling ill, it may be time to schedule a meeting with your local vicar. That's not how anything works, but I don't really have to say that, do I? Pay for your sick leave. Bummer. Reminds me of one of those, like, those headlines that's like, wow, this one teacher had cancer, so all the other teachers pooled their sick leave days, their sick days together and donated them so that the teacher could have enough days to get cancer treatment because the system didn't have their back, but their friends did. And it's like, oh, this is inspiring, except for the part where the entire system necessitates this kind of behavior in the first place. That part's distressing. American healthcare. Oh. Sorry, I just took a moment to process the fact that I walked into a building and didn't have to do a loading screen. Ah, but there's an elevator immediately, so maybe not so much. Like, you just so inherently expect loading screens going to these kinds of places. Is there a stop having my gun drawn button? It is slightly distracting to have it drawn in the middle of a town. Key bindings. Do-do-do-do-do. There's a bunch of weapon changing items. What if I press 3 again? What if I leave one weapon slot empty? Oh. I can't get rid of it because I was currently holding it. No. No, I'm not getting it. I think I'm screwed. I can mouse wheel. I can click the mouse wheel. Another selection. There's every selection system you could ever want simultaneously available. None of them say, put your weapon away, you weirdo. So I guess it's always got to be drawn. I don't see a single person around. It's an entire canning facility. Yeah, as it said. You guys on strike? Oh wait, it's the middle of the night, isn't it? Taste the freedom with Spacer's Choice. Now with added artificial ingredients at no extra cost. Vending machines offer a variety of items to purchase, mostly from one company. A hack skill of 20 or higher allows you to sell items to the vending machine. What? Why would that functionality even be available, even if you could hack it? Restricted items on a vendor can only be purchased when you have a high enough reputation with the associated faction, or a hack skill of 40. So you gotta get access to the right of it. Frozen dinner. A lot of food items here. Categorization. These are weapons? Oh yeah, that's a revolver. Light machine gun. Heavy machine gun. Armor. Hello. 10 armor, 10 armor. These are encouraging. If I want to buy one though, I'll have negative money because I only have 100 bits. I gotta go find myself a job. There's the weapon mods. Increases your ranged weapon skills modification. Ooh. It's a good mod to have access to. It's also expensive. Increase the amount of ammunition the weapon's magazine carries. Require some of your TTD meter. Restore some of your TTD meter when you deal critical hit. The effect has a cooldown. 4 grand, and I also need to make them a big fan of me, apparently. Or just hack it. Good to know. Otherwise, you can sell things. You got your shit figured out. Hibernation suit's not going to be worth a lot for me. Oh, yeah. It's not the best choice, it's Spacer's Choice. Guys, you gotta have a little self-confidence. It's like step 1 for trying to get people to buy stuff from you. It's project the kind of person they want to be. Otherwise it goes very poorly for you. It's not the best choice. There's cans everywhere, but you do have an inventory cap, so I don't necessarily want to pick up every single random can lying on the floor. That'll quickly be bad for me. Neat location. There's the original room. So the elevator probably isn't a loading screen then. It probably just takes you like right up here. Oh, there's people here. You guys have done a terrible job at catching me doing a bunch of naughties. No! They're killing them. But they're adorable. Is that... Oh, that's what you're canning here. And then you put up a sign that imply... You put up that sign to make people think that you're like... They're eating like fish, basically. But actually they're eating sprats. But sprats are adorable. Don't mind me while I skin them. That's unfortunate. Phyllis Granger.
You the new worker? Whatever. Make it quick, tenderfoot. I'm busy.
I'm guessing you're the foreman.
Foreman Granger. Mind those words don't come out of your mouth unless preceded by yes or right away or thank you.
I'll let you get back to work. I didn't do the things she wanted me to do. Yeah, I guess there's none of them. There was 2 people in the room the whole time. Just no one happened to walk by and notice that I was stealing things. Convenient. Yeah, look at that. They put a fish on it, and it's just a lie, because they're grinding up those guys. Ooh. Let's just go ahead and close this door before somebody walks in on me. Guide to Mechanical Engineering Volume 2. Are we beyond books now? You have to pick up an entire computer every time you want to read something? Seems awfully inefficient. Where's this guide? Don't see it here. We do have 2 mods now. The Magnum increases the amount of ammunition the weapon's magazine carries. And magazine changes the weapon's damage type to shock. Ooh, okay. The Young Spacer's Guide to Mechanical Engineering, Volume 2, a dense technical primer of mechanical engineering published by Spacer's Choice. This volume describes the process of repairing and dismantling common models of auto-mechanical workers. I'm so confused. You have to pick up an entire, this entire device just to read one document. If I want to get Volume 1, I have to get a separate document. But it has a keyboard on it and everything? Weird. It's mine now. Captain's identification given to you by Ada after the unfortunate passing of Alex Hawthorne, who you are. Oops. This cartridge identifies you as the registered captain of the Unreliable. Yes, I am. How did you know? Company notifications. Spacer's Choice handguns. Body counts at a discount. Damn. Dark. Edgewater, Saltuna Cannery, a Spacer's Choice property. From the Office of Reed Tobson, Outpost Administrator. Symptoms of infection have now reached a critical mass. I have instructed our staff to transform the old domicile into a sick house. Plague is a reality of life on the frontier. And as Spacers, we're expected to face up to reality. And the reality is that we do not carry enough medicine to treat all of you. Medical treatment is a privilege, not a right. We must strive every day to demonstrate our worthiness of that privilege. If you find yourself suffering the symptoms of incipient plague, the best thing you can do for yourself and your family is don your jumpers and come to work. Work fortifies the spirit. Physical illness recapitulates spiritual weakness. So they keep reinforcing this idea that if you suffer a physical weakness due to sickness, it's only because you are emotionally or spiritually or mentally incapacitated. You are insufficient and you need to spiritually rise up. That's one way to not have to justify. That's one way to justify not having to treat people that are frankly part of your, that are in your charge and you are frankly quite responsible for the well-being of, is just to convince everybody via propaganda that anybody who falls ill does so because of a moral failing on their part, and that therefore they deserve it and nobody should do anything to help them. I was wrong about the elevator. It goes even higher than I thought it did. Ooh.
The grease monkey, Argo?
I'm sorry, Mr. Thompson, sir.
You asked why it's taking so long to fix. The answer's technical.
Don't apologize. Just try using small words for me.
The can's bust open in the oven because she's set to cook Saltuna, which isn't what we've got. Mr. Tobson? I think there's someone here to see you.
Focus, Miss Holcomb. You and I are still talking. Let's start over. Walk me through the process. Show me where it's going awry.
Well, sure. It's, mostly on account of what we're feeding into the mechanism.
It puts food in cans. We have food, we have cans. Why won't it work like we need?
She's expecting Saltuna of a certain size. We're filling the cans with, well, not fish.
So it's optimized for fish. So it is supposed to be fish, but they've taken to jamming other creatures into it and profiting off of that. I didn't approach because I was worried it might interrupt the conversation.
Seems we've got a guest. Really now, Parvati, I do wish you'd spoken up. I do apologize. I was given no forewarning of your arrival, or I might have welcomed you at the gates myself.
She literally did speak up. You just like to throw people under the bus, huh? While not understanding the real root of problems around you. I'll wait till you're finished.
You were saying, Miss Holcomb.
It's just what Bess needs is a proper refurbish. I can bandage her up and what all, but she's just old. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll do better.
And I do wish you'd stop referring to our cannery as Bess. Personification of company property is strictly contrary to the Spacer's Choice Code of Conduct. My apologies. I am not in the habit of allowing my guests to witness such a row. Now, what can I do for you?
We can start with introductions. I'm Steve Buckworthy.
I'm Reed Tobson, Outpost Administrator. I must say, wearing a Marauder's outfit is in very poor taste. I do wish you'd show your uniform a little more respect.
I don't work for Spacer's Choice.
Of course not. I don't have that kind of luck. Seems I allowed my excitement to run away with my wits. Been a few seasons since we've had a visitor pass through.
My ship needs repairs. I'm looking for a power regulator.
Only regulator we got is hooked up to the town transformer. Mr. Thompson ain't liable to be keen on dismantling it.
I beg your pardon. I am most emphatically not keen on any such thing. I can't let you have our power regulator. But I happen to know of another one. And I happen to know exactly how you may retrieve it without frying yourself in the process.
Frying myself?
Oh, yes. Saw someone put his hands on a regulator while the power was running. His legs were still twitching when we buried him. There's a power regulator in the old botanical lab. It's mostly abandoned, so all that power is being squandered. Go down to the geothermal plant. Reroute power from the botanical district over to us. Once their power's shut down, you can have their regulator and be along on your way.
When you say mostly abandoned, what do you mean?
I was not entirely sure how to tell you this. The botanical labs are not legally inhabited, but there are people who live there.
I don't think these people will take kindly to losing their power.
No, I do not imagine they will be pleased. But like a parent disciplining an unruly child, you will be doing them a kindness. The people living in the botanical labs, they're deserters, former workers. I need them back at their posts. I need them to come home.
Why?
Edgewater is struggling. We haven't hit our production quota in years. If we don't meet our quotas this year, the company might shut us down for good. I need those workers back at their stations.
I've seen Edgewater. I don't blame these workers for walking out.
Neither do I. The fault was entirely mine. I pushed them too hard. My hope is that by cutting off their power, you will convince those deserters to come back to town. Before you go to the plant, I want you to stop by the botanical lab. Speak to their leader, Adelaide. Tell her the power's about to go, and that it's time her band of deserters came back to town.
How will I recognize Adelaide?
Adelaide's older than the other deserters. She's dignified, kindly. From what I understand, her camp looks to her for leadership.
And what if Adelaide doesn't want to come back?
That is not a hypothetical I enjoy entertaining. We need Adelaide back. Nonetheless, I will settle for the return of her followers. We belong to one community, the Spacer's Choice family. If we dissolve into factions, then we will all perish separately. Adelaide will understand that.
I can't make any promises.
Of course, I understand completely. Here, let me give you the passcode to the geothermal plant. A sign of good faith for so politely listening to me as I ramble on.
Are you setting off for the Vale? Because I know my way around. I mean, in case you want a guide. I mean, if that's all right with you, Mr. Tobson. Sir.
I hesitate to part ways with Miss Holcomb, but I cannot deny that she is talented and may prove useful to you.
Sure, I could use the company.
Great! I got my wrenches and diagnosticators and hairpins and engine tape, so I'm all set.
Well, I am glad to hear that. Best of luck to you, and thank you again for your help. It is a lot to ask of a stranger, I know.
Let's get going. It's a lot to ask of a stranger, I know. I just want you to, undo a little political revolution that was inconvenient to me. That is who that is. I had to check. It was bothering me. I'm like, that sounds exactly like Ashley Birch. That's because it's Ashley Birch. From Hey Ash, what you playing? And then eventually she played Tiny Tina in Borderlands because her brother wrote Borderlands 2. And then she was Aloy in Horizon Zero Dawn, which funnily enough, I just mentioned last episode. That's actually kind of funny that it came back around, and the first companion I meet in the game has the same voice actor as Aloy. You've gained a companion. These are characters that join you on your adventures and help in a variety of ways. Companions provide combat support. Their skills enhance your skills. They increase your carrying capacity. You can unlock special companion abilities with the inspiration skill. Oh, just spawn right back into pointing a gun straight at his face. Hello, Parvati. We've met a new person. Let's get out of earshot of this asshole and have a chat if I can.
Got my sights on you.
Oh, yeah, I got my sights on you. What was that? Sir? What was that about sights? You seem to have stopped talking. Interesting.
Got my sights on you.
Get your own line.
My offer remains standing should you reconsider.
I want to talk to you about something.
Go ahead.
Have you taken a look around your town lately?
It is my job to keep two eyes on my town. I am the steward of this place, and this is my watch post.
How long have you worked here?
I'm trying to remember, 25 years, 26. When you get to my age, the years just rush by. You stop counting altogether. I remember looking out this window and seeing the Vale spread out from horizon to horizon. We were a sprawling town. We were booming. Times change, people change, but the Vale will always be here. Spacer's Choice will always be here. Our work won't ever end. I take comfort in that.
You're loyal to Spacer's Choice.
This is a Spacer's Choice town. We're all part of the Spacer's Choice family here. The company keeps us warm, keeps us fed, keeps us working. Loyalty's got nothing to do with it, friend. This is good old-fashioned gratitude.
Is it also gratitude that forces your employees to refuse outside medical aid when they're bleeding out in a cave? Your town's falling to pieces.
I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
Do you disagree?
Yes, as a matter of fact. When I stand at my window and look out over my town, here's what I see. I see decent, loyal, hard-working people. I see a family. We are all part of the Spacer's Choice family. We are all doing what we were brought into this world to do.
You see a family. Yeah, never trust an employer that refers to their own employees as their family. Because what they're really doing is they're trying to emotionally manipulate people into working harder and not doing other things and feeling like a grander sense of responsibility than they actually owe their employer. It's a commonly used tactic nowadays, and like oftentimes in like sometimes you'll even see it in like hourly wage workplaces, like a goddamn like retail job. They'll like use this weird grandiose statements to try to get loyalty and harder work out of the employees that frankly deserve more. But then you have like tech companies and even the types of companies that make games like these potentially that use the family rhetoric to justify endless crunch and them never going home to see their families, their real families, because they're a family at their job. And so like that demand for loyalty is often significantly more insidious. I don't think it's just a throwaway line that this character is saying that. I think that's exactly what they're going for, is that grossness, because it always comes from the top down. It's always the people at the top using this bizarre family rhetoric about their corporate structure. Meanwhile, this is the same company that we know you're not supposed to accept outside medical aid when you're dying, and you're also supposed to pay them whenever you need sick leave. Let me ask you about something else.
Go ahead.
If you expect me to talk to this Adelaide person, I could use a little information.
Adelaide was our only flavor specialist. We are a Saltuna canning institution. Saltuna without flavor is like a cysty pig without tumors, borderline inedible.
I'll just pretend I understand those words. It sounds disgusting.
Begging your pardon, Saltuna is a staple in the diet of any self-respecting spacer. Were it up to me, friend, I'd stack our larders with Saltuna galore. No other brand of Saltuna adds as much vim or vigor to the body's humors. But, and this is something we must keep between the two of us, Saltuna is hard to come by, what with being a species indigenous to the seas of another world.
And what world is that?
You mean you don't know? Why, Monarch, of course. Spacer's Choice ran a mighty fishing enterprise on that world. As it so turns out, Saltuna do not take as readily to the waters of Terra 2. Scrawnier than their Monarch cousins. Forces us to pack our cans with additives, you see.
Oh, hang on. So what exactly are you canning here?
Oh, we've scavenged together some organic material from the surrounding environs. Mostly organic, mostly local mushrooms. Some of which possess a texture akin to a well-boiled slab of Saltuna. The difference is all but impossible to detect to any but the prissiest of palate.
Yeah, I guess that's easy if you already mostly just using flavor additives on mush. I should go. Yeah, we're not gonna be fans. Hello? He has a key to this door. What's this do? That probably calls the elevator when it's not here.
You think you're tough, waving that thing around?
He doesn't like that. I was just trying to look. He's just wearing a sash. I was wondering if the key was visible on his body. There might be like a... What if I crouch over here? Does anyone react to me? Parvati also crouches. Everyone's just game for this. Is that the eyeball icon? Is that how you know people can see you, as you see that icon? Hi. Anyway. Hi. How do you do? Come here often?
Hey, mister, can we talk? Sorry. Can we talk?
I was hoping to. I just wanted to leave your boss's area, but I guess you're not going to walk until... Alright, well, we have the same goal here.
Sorry. You just want to get out of here. And you likely don't want to tag along like me. It's just... Mr. Tobson has his own view on matters, on account of it's his job and what all, but that's not the only side of the tale.
What a message. What a great line of dialogue. If I wanted to deal with nuance, I wouldn't be this heavily armored. Let's move. Figures. Reed didn't exactly strike me as the most honest soul.
Oh, he ain't a liar. He believes every word he says. It's just, he doesn't always get where other folk are talking from. To Mr. Thompson, a person's a gear. It does its job quiet-like. If it squeaks or stutters, it gets replaced. The deserters are decent folk. I knew some of them before they left.
How well did you know the deserters? You work with them? You friends or what?
I don't know anybody well. I mostly listen to them talk, kept my head down. There was a boy named Thomas who used to follow me around, asking questions about the stuff I fixed. He was real sweet to me. Not any sort of dissident.
I can't blame anyone for wanting to leave. This town's got issues.
Life's hard here, especially for them that don't fit in so well. We're one big Spacer's Choice family, but every family's got the one the rest whisper about. Mr. Tobson's aiming to take away their power. They'll have no lights to see, nor heat to cook. They'll be at the mercy of marauders, or worse. I think you should talk to the town's vicar about it. Max, his name is.
I suppose it wouldn't hurt. We'll stop by.
Thanks, mister. I just think when you gotta make a decision that'll hurt somebody, it's best to think on the right and wrong of it. That's what my dad used to say anyways.
What are those abilities? Z?
I'm going.
Oh, that's the order them to go to somewhere specific button. An X? I think tells them to target a spot.
Sure. Be right there.
I think does hold make him follow me again? Are you following me right now? It's almost hard to tell. Let's just run for a second. Oh yeah, she's following me again. Alright. That's what you get when you press that again. Can I learn about you?
Yeah, huh?
Nope. Not so much. Well, I got a party member to get 50% bonus experience from. How big is this place? Oh. Okay. Triangle shaped. Actually shaped like that board from earlier. Might not be that hard to explore then. Because from this perspective, I was thinking this place might be pretty expansive. But can you even access most of these buildings? Is that where's that waypoint going? Then it disappears when I move a little bit. What you guarding?
You some sort of freelancer?
Yeah. Technically, even in real life, I guess. Basically. I take it these are the mushrooms they're trying to can. They're using like a combination of sprat and mushrooms. I think he said they're using mushrooms. Technically nothing wrong with that. They're growing, assuming that they're not dangerous. Mushrooms can be a good choice.
I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute.
You had a minute. Next one comes out of your pay.
Ease off the threats, friend. I'm going.
Boss's orders. We all got quotas to make.
Huh?
This is how you get called a class traitor, sir. Right back to it. Ooh. Oh, hey, that's the same building from earlier. That's neat. It's all connected. It's actually really trippy not to have loading screens for going inside, in and out of buildings. It's all continuous. Like I can just walk into the side of a building and I can see it, the door open and actually recognize the inside of the room. It's the small things. We're moving past loading screens somewhat in some games. This looks a lot like a break.
You're safer inside the walls.
That's usually why walls exist. Depends who else is in here. Hello. A lot of garbage in here. Oh, hey. Now, hi, you can get in here. A flywheel. Used to store rotational energy. What? Fun science fact. If you ever wondered why it's so hard to push over a functioning auto-mechanical, but it's easy to tip over a non-functioning one, this little device is the reason. Oh. Interesting. I've never met an auto-mechanical, but we keep hearing about them. Apparently they're hard to tip over when they're on. They have a thing called the flywheel in them that absorbs rotational energy to stop them from falling over. And I guess the moment they're not powered anymore, they just will fall over because they don't have that. It's like some kind of gyroscope counterbalancer thing. This what counts as a church around here?
I've always felt weird in here. It's too clean.
Eh. Looks like I'm about to solve some mist puzzles in here, honestly. Hey, Atris. Are you Atris?
I don't have time for this.
You look like you have nothing but time right now, sir. Just so we're clear.
Our place in the universe is fixed.
Okay. I don't think there's a lot of fixed points in space. Everything tends to be moving. Even the things that seem like they're not.
Talking to the good vicar always lifts up my spirits.
He has rainbow hair. Are you sure I'm not about to solve some mist puzzles? Because these things over here seem really interactive. I'm like vaguely excited even though I know it's not going to happen. Like this looks like so many puzzle games I've played.
Hey there, Mary. Don't see you round here too often.
Oh, I just came to talk to the vicar is all. None of us are above confessionals.
What have you got to confess? You ain't thinking of deserting, are you?
What? No. And I resent the accusation.
Wasn't nothing but a question. Do excuse me.
I must be on my way. Verity to you.
I bet that's what she was planning. Also, you wouldn't plan on dessert. Not the whole point of a confession usually is not have to say it to you.
Talking to the good vicar always lifts my spirits.
Do they have a... Oh my god, they have an altar of basalt columns. Of course they do. Is this my religion?
Our place in the universe is fixed.
Okay, so that's a mantra for them. Too many of them have said it now. So it's something they say here. What is happening here? Excuse me? Do you guys have a geocentric model of this solar system? Does the sun orbit the planet? So are we gonna have words?
Yes, what is it? You're an outsider. Fantastic. Vicar Maximilian de Soto at your service. Or Vicar Max if you're the sort who prefers brevity. And Ms. Holcomb as well. How rare to see you out. And with a complete stranger. Curious.
Just tagging along, Vicar de Soto. Don't mind me.
I so rarely get new people to talk to. Name your poison, anything at all. Spiritual counseling, this season's tossball predictions, the quickest way out of town.
How did you know I'm an outsider? I'm gonna guess it's because it's such a small town that he already knows everybody.
I've never seen you before.
Yep.
And there's been no paperwork indicating a transfer. Half the time it's wrong, but a new worker without paperwork? Unheard of. Also, you lack the distinctive worker gaze. Usually either a deadening behind the eyes, or in some rare cases, a wild-eyed frenzy, like a trapped animal. Pretty universal here, except for Ms. Holcomb, who for some reason doesn't seem to have much to say to me. Isn't that right?
It's just... there's more to it all than numbers. Sorry.
Ah. So I was right about the first part, but it's also because I just haven't had the will wrung out of me yet. I'm a bit surprised to hear you dismiss your parishioners so casually.
I'm simply bemoaning the level of spiritual awareness in this town.
Isn't that your job to raise that?
Yes, but there are few who hear me in this miserable place. I must double my efforts to elevate my flock. These are good, hard-working people here.
Hold on a minute, did you just refer to this town as a miserable place?
Yes, and thank you for pointing it out. It is wrong of me to succumb to distress. This place could be so much more, and I will continue in my quest to make it so.
What sort of spiritual advice do you offer here?
They who are not satisfied with their work are satisfied with nothing. No? How about, work fortifies the spirit. True exhaustion awaits idle hands.
Seriously? That's what you're selling here?
Selling? No. It is free for all who seek it. I'm sorry you don't find these tried and true words of wisdom to your liking.
You just read them off to me like you're going off of flashcards. How am I supposed to feel it if you're not? I don't think anyone's feeling it. All you've got here are platitudes about enjoying your work. Have you looked around here lately?
Have you? These people need something, anything they can grasp to survive. Delving into the metaphysical minutiae of the grand plan would be nonsense to them, if not worse. My apologies. The townsfolk are having a tough time of it, and it's been difficult for me to enrich their lives. They are good people. It is just difficult to reach them.
Parvati wanted to talk to you about what Reed asked us to do.
What? I thought you would talk to him.
You wanted to speak to me, Ms. Holcomb? Every time I've tried to engage you in conversation, you look at the floor, answer in single words, and slink away. I can't imagine what would be so grave as to drive her to my mission. What has Mr. Tobson asked her to do?
Cut off the power to Adelaide's deserters.
Depriving them of safety from the marauders and wildlife. I can see why that troubles you. Miss Holcomb has a soft heart. Always has, if you believe the talk.
I wouldn't call this kind of approach soft, but okay. And what do you think of Adelaide's group, Vicar?
They rejected the order of society and live beyond the walls so thoughtfully provided by our Spacer's Choice patrons. Does that strike you as a responsible life choice?
Wow, what a priest we got here. Depends on how well the leader can provide beyond your walls.
Astute. But I am here, not in the deserter camp. So that's not a variable I can account for.
So what do you advise?
Assuming your goal is to save as many as possible, then you should bring everyone together. Send the power to Edgewater and convince the deserters to return to the fold.
Is that even possible?
Not if things are left to stand as they are. If you don't mind a bit of unsolicited advice, be cautious on your way to the geothermal plant. It is not as safe as you might assume.
And why is that?
One of the reasons I transferred here was to fulfill my duty in hunting down banned heretical texts. I happen to know such a book is, as we speak, tainting a collector's library in Emerald Vale. However, the collector's residence lies outside the town's walls. My retrieval efforts have been thwarted by marauders who have overrun the property. Should you fare better than me, I'd pay a handsome sum for the book.
Why would a vicar be after a banned heretical book?
I just want to keep the writing out of layman's hands. It wouldn't do for such information to fall into public consumption.
I'll need to know a little bit more about this book before I agree to this.
It's a handwritten journal, a faded blue cover with the name M. Bakonu handwritten in the lower corner. I'll mark where I saw it on your map. Assuming you're serious? It is not only a beautiful relic of a bygone time, it's also the thoughts of an early thinker on the nature of man's place in the cosmos. Not many in this colony could understand its true value, should they ever read it.
I'll look for your book.
Thank you. If you retrieve it, you can always find me here.
There's a surprising amount of forward momentum in the conversations. If you see a dialogue choice you want to pick, you should probably pick it immediately in many of these cases, because oftentimes you're not gonna get the chance to say each thing one by one, even though sometimes they feel like dialogue choices that you should be able to say. Like when you're making a choice, it makes sense to not stick around, but there's other moments where it feels like maybe I could say a few of those different things in sequence in a reasonable conversation, and the game just kind of pushes forward. Those moments surprise me a little bit.